Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Liam, a designer redesigning every townhome? I'm designing every townhome. A designer redesigning every space in my townhome, and in today's video we're going to be doing part 2 of the bedroom. If you haven't watched part 1, pause this video. I'll wait, watch that, and then come back here. The room feels completely different now that we have warmer woods and color, but we weren't done yet. Spoiler, you can see a little bit of it behind me. We needed art, we needed refreshed bedding, lighting, and all of those final styling details that makes a room really come together. For the art, I picked up some supplies from a local art shop. I aimed for something that felt stylized, sensual, bold, and wasn't overwhelming for the space, but really tied everything together. And I found some really great references. So I knew I wanted a human form. I find that those feel really right in intimate spaces like bedrooms and bathrooms. I also felt that it was best to stay within the color palette that I've established with the room. So browns, greens, copper. It also leaves more room to play with additional colors in the bedding. I wouldn't say I'm a painter, but I do know how to paint. I would say it's nice to create something every once in a while. And this one was fun. So I started with gesso, essentially a canvas primer, then the underpainting, which was various tones of green to tie it into the rug color. Then I started getting into composition, and Michael is actually a really talented illustrator, so he helped me with this bit and sketched out some of the shapes onto the canvas to get me started. And with that, I started getting to the color blocking and working through the shadows, the midtones, the highlights. I've never painted something this big before, and you can see it a little bit behind me, but it's massive, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out and the vibe that it creates in the room. Then I wanted to add some interest to the space, and I was going to do this through the choices that I made in bedding, so think patterns and color. I've been sleeping with Buffy sheets for a really long time, and I just decided that it was probably time for another set. I always like the Breeze set. They are really great for hot sleepers that still like to be covered up. I chose the blue pinstripe, and what it does is it adds a subtle pattern to the room, and then the pop of blue outside of the base palette of the room pulls interest and focus to the bed. And lastly, we're at my favorite part of the process, the final styling details. Side note, our car transmission died, so I wasn't able to do as much shopping as I'd like. Our car broke down on the highway. Michael and I really don't have good experiences with cars in the sense of like we've both been in pretty bad car accidents while we were growing up. It was the best of a bad situation. We had just gone to Portland for a little road trip. Everything was fine with the car, really no issues, and we drove back. And honestly, looking back, it was probably best case scenario because nothing happened while we were out in a city that we don't live in or kind of transiting, going between cities. Like we weren't stranded. And we got back home and we were going up a hill on the highway, and the car had like a few like jumps. The accelerator would not work. We started to go backward a little bit, and that was really scary. And of course there's traffic on the highway, and thankfully I put the hazards on and nothing bad happened, and everybody on the highway was paying attention. We're okay, but still a really scary situation. We were able to make it to a Costco parking lot, got it towed through our insurance. Again, best case, so I'm really grateful for that. But it was stressful, and then of course we didn't have a car for a few weeks. We had it towed to the repair shop. They let us know that it was a transmission issue and that it would actually cost more than what we bought the car for. Ooh, this stuff, it's really pigmented. Sometimes I forget. It took us a few weeks to find something. Had to go a little bit above budget just because car prices are really high right now. Things do happen, but it is really frustrating when you put money towards something and it inevitably just breaks one day. So we decided to invest a little bit more in a certified pre-owned car that had a little bit less miles on it. We know it's been taken care of. We ended up going for an electric vehicle for a really long time. We wanted that to be our next car, and manifestation works in that way because whether you want it or not, the universe is going to give you what you ask for, just maybe not in the way you expect. Our car died, transmission blew, and we took that as the opportunity to say, let's get what we've been wanting, try to do it in a smart way, and hopefully when we're done with it, sell it for, or trade it in for a little bit of money versus completely losing out, which is essentially what happened on our past car. So that's kind of what's been going on. Not really exciting stuff, but life stuff. Everything so far, just in the grand scheme of things, is, I mean, well, if we're being honest, everything's a mess. But personally, we feel okay with what we have and what we can deal with, and we're trying to be positive. What about you all? How are you all feeling? Tell me, let me know. I wasn't able to do much shopping, but this was a really good challenge for myself to find things around my home that I already had. The size of the room is pretty restrictive. There's not enough room for much in here other than the bed frame with the nightstands, and then there's about 1.5 feet of clearance until you get to the closet. There's not much you can do, but there are always those tiny details that make the room feel finished. I pulled an IKEA lamp for structural interest, and it adds an additional material to the room. It's a really good reading light, and that's a must in a bedroom. I also added a decanter for water, some books that we're currently reading, fresh flowers in a thrifted vase, and a candle, of course. So after months of sourcing things, looking for things, a car dying, and filming and documenting everything and splitting it up into 2 videos and just really honestly enjoying the process, but it was a lot of work and it's my first time doing something like this, I wanted to give you a reminder of where we started. So before, it was gray and ugly. Obviously, Michael is not sleeping in a different room, so he's seen most of the reveal, but he hasn't seen it finally done, all clean, styled. So, you ready? Okay, big reveal.
I'm scared.
I'll let you open the door.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't want to touch anything, it's so beautiful. Wow. I really like the flowers. It's so good.
He wants to explore.
Oh.
The flowers are not cat safe.
You're going out.
They're not, we don't let them in here that often. Pretty. Tell me what you think about the result. I personally really love it and I'm so proud of how it turned out. I enjoy being in here so much more, and every day at the end of the day, I'm so grateful and I'm excited to come into the bedroom and just like wind down for the day. This is our sanctuary. It always has been. It just hasn't been treated like it. So I'm really happy that it finally feels like it. Subscribe, please, so that you can keep up with my Townhome series. I'll also document any updates that I make in this room. I'm never done. And I actually think I want to get a smaller piece of art for this wall right here, like right here. I want it to be secondhand. I don't really want to make it, so we'll see what I can find, but I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. Leave a comment telling me what you'd like to see next, because honestly, the bedroom's in a pretty good spot right now, but I do have some other spaces in my home that I need to redo. I'll see you on the next one. Still don't have a sign off. I'm trying to do a thumbnail. I'm a professional now. I'm also getting my hair cut for anybody who cares. Hey, my bangs trimmed a little bit, so it's looking a little rough today, but that will be fixed next week. Okay, bye.